Stop fade.
Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Lock-In Pub Quiz. I am, as ever, Ivo Graham, the substitute teacher, desperately trying to keep charge of 3 contestants. This week's contestants are comedian Rhys James, comedian and actor Tez Ilias, and presenter and podcaster Max Rushton, and, thrillingly, his wife Jamie. If you want to play along, you can have the good grace to follow the Lock-In Pub Quiz on Twitter and Instagram. And let's quickly meet the people who will be playing against each other. First up, Rhys, how are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. What a thrill to finally be on this show. As you got into the tens of guests, I really started to think the phone might never ring.
I don't think that's really sufficient grounds to hold too much of a grudge, Rhys. I think we'd say this is still fairly early in the lifespan of the show. As the second wave approaches, there are going to be queues around the block to appear on the Lock-In
I will take
Quiz.
it. I will take being a first wave guest, and that will be going straight on the CV.
Settle for the Europa League place you deserve. Tez, are you feeling a similar, slightly sort of misguided bitterness towards not having come on this sooner?
100%, especially because I only knew it existed when you messaged me this week. So before that, I wasn't aware of its existence. But then I thought, like, what? Episode 6? What the hell? I'm at least on episode 3 kind of tier level comic by now, I think.
But thrillingly, Tez, it's not just comics, you see. We will also expand the remit to sort of sporting podcast hot couples. That's why we've got the Rushtons in. If they weren't eligible, Tez, it is so much early, you see. It's a slightly bigger remit than usual. Hello, Rushtons.
Hi, how are you, Ivo?
Do you want to slag off either the show or its booking policy?
No, I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah.
Not a household name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I very rarely get invited onto anything. So despite the fact that I quite sort of feel like I sometimes should be invited onto things, I don't get invited on. So you asked me on officially yesterday, and I feel that's the most notice I've ever been given for any...
Without any further ado, we're going to get on with this miserable affair so that we can all get on with our equally miserable lives. Congratulations on the BAFTA nomination. So, the first round, and I hope you've all got pad and pens. Write your answers nice and big. We won't be checking them every time, but it's useful to have for either verification or some sort of visual gag. We have 5 questions about general knowledge. They are all for 1 point. Question 1, and I've been dreading asking this question all afternoon, is how many scoring zones are there on a conventional dartboard? Let's hear the back chat. It's a very vague sounding question, and I don't really know how to define it. Yeah, here we go, Rhys.
So if let's say you hit a 20, right? You've got the option to hit a 20 in that first bit or the bit below.
The bits on either side of the treble count as different scoring zones.
Different zones. Right, Jay, I got that. So there's different zones. Oh, shit, okay.
There's different zones, and I've also given away the fact that a treble exists. Picture a dartboard, have a lovely time. I'll tell you, here's a fun little insight. Okay, if the dartboard was on Microsoft Paint and you were using the fill tool to fill up a segment by colour, how many times would you have to click fill? Absolutely delighted with that. Thank you very much for coming. Question 2, a slightly more straightforward question. What is the only animal besides humans known to attack great white sharks? What is the only animal, apart from humans, that fancies its chances against a great white shark?
Do you need the subsection of the animal, or just like if it was bear, can I say bear, or do you just to be like the specific type of bear?
I'll tell you what, Tez, and I'm not ruling out bear. I would like a 2-word answer, ideally. That's all I'll say. But if you just put bear or equivalent, it might be a half point.
Okay,
I think that's okay.
Ivo, quick one.
Yes.
Can I answer the question? If you were filling in a great white shark on Microsoft Paint, how many times did you click fill?
It's lovely to set up a Microsoft Paint-based running gag this early.
For the question.
No, we've got to know when to walk away from that one, I think. And walk away we shall as we move to question 3. Tez, you get back in your box and get ready to answer a question about the Apollo missions. What number Apollo mission was the first to land on the moon? This is open and shut. No conferring, no queries. What Apollo mission was the first to land on the moon?
Reese, what was the name of the whale in Free Willy?
No, Tez, come on.
Right, I'm changing my answer to number 2, unless that's the Apollo one.
Question 4. Which 1999 horror film was promoted with the following tagline? Spoiler alert, it's long. In October of 1994, 3 student filmmakers disappeared in the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland. 1 year later, their footage was found. That's a long tagline, not necessarily a long film. I don't know the length of the film. I haven't seen it. Do with that what you wish.
90 minutes.
Yeah. It's good.
I didn't like it.
I liked it.
I liked it.
Question 5. In banking, here we go. What does the acronym HSBC stand for? We know it, we love it, but what does it stand for? The Rushtons are sharing a private banking-based joke, and it warms the cockles.
Well, Jay was just asking if the B stands for Bangladesh, to which I don't think that's the answer.
As the resident Bangladesh expert, I think no.
I'll take that.
Does it stand for Blackburn, Tez?
Spoilers.
Yes.
I don't know what-
Yes.
Lovely stuff. Right, we're going to mark round 1 because you've all, quite frankly, had enough time and been a nuisance. Question 1, and we all remember this one very fondly. It's the dartboard one. How many scoring zones? Okay, remember Microsoft Paint, remember the good times, and the answer is 82.
Yay!
You've got 20 numbered. 20. Well, I don't have to explain. You've all got it right. You did the maths you needed to do, and we can move on with our lives. Question 2. The answer, as Tez has already sneak previewed, was killer whales.
Yeah.
Half a point for the whales, a full point for orcas, which would be nice.
I genuinely forgot
What's
the
your-
name Killer Whale. That's why I was asking the question.
And what's your problem, Jamie?
What did you write? What did you put down?
I put Killer Whale. I remembered in the end.
I like the other one.
Right,
We
and
wrote
Jamie?
exactly orcas, and then the same / as you, and then killer whales, the same.
Wow.
Absolute scenes.
It's hard. Yeah, I do think it's the definition of scenes, actually. People getting a / in the same place as the Quizmaster. It's very tempting to sort of reward that with some sort of bonus, but given that you're already twice the size of the other teams, it might create a little rancor. Let's see how you did on the Apollo question. Reese, do you want to have a swing at which Apollo mission it was?
I'd rather not say. I've got a good system lined up here with a whiteboard where I can sort of change the answers depending on what you say. I'd rather keep it going this early if that's all right.
That is the danger of the whiteboard. We haven't really thought that through when we said that would be fine. But I'm going to trust you and tell you that it is 11.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
11.
I did. I mean, I can confirm. I mean, I'm not. It is. There you go. But I also had a cheat in case it was 2. I could say Roman numerals.
Question 4. I think we all established that it was the Blair Witch Project. Was that the film we were all discussing earlier on? Congratulations. I'm just going to check the running time because I'm keen to see whether Tez was bluffing. The Blair Witch Project is a film that lasts 81 minutes.
Oh, wow.
81.
Wow.
You get it is a short film.
I did think that Tez and Jamie's discussion about Blair Witch, where they both said I liked it, would be a great short film podcast if the two of them wanted to
work together on it.
Yeah, that's right, actually.
Always with the podcast hat. Always ready to launch a new
Yeah.
podcast at any moment.
Yeah, Rushton, no producing while quizzing, okay? You save this sort of chat for the end. Question 5, HSBC. It's not Bangladesh, but it is a geographical minefield. It's the Hong Kong, but no K for Kong, Shanghai Banking Corporation. And I've said Shanghai, and we won't do another take.
You know how earlier you give half a point for whale?
Yes.
Can I have half a point for Banking Corporation?
Ooh. I don't really...
Because I've got Banking Corporation, but then I wrote Hello Sexy.
If we're going to talk about parallels every time we get one, I did also go for Hot Stuff Banking Corporation. So a little bit of parallel thinking there from two Blair Witch fans.
Yeah, I think half a point each there.
No, I don't think it is. I think what it is lovely repartee. And Max Rushton's got up and left.
Yeah, to check more
which is not to say that...
Cheating.
And we move on now to round 2. We're not waiting for Max. Our round 2 is as almost ever. Last week it was, to be fair, Guess the Decade. This week we've zoomed back in and it's Guess the Year. All you've got to do is name the year in which the 3 events per question took place. Question 1. Lordi win the Eurovision Song Contest for Finland with the song Hard Rock Hallelujah. Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, tragically dies while filming at the Great Barrier Reef. And Martin Scorsese's The Departed is released.
Absolutely, I've absolutely nailed that, so that's nice.
Question 2.
I can't decide.
Continue mulling question 1 while we move on to question 2, which of course includes Nelson Mandela. When was he released from prison after 27 years? When did England crash out of the World Cup, losing to Germany on penalties? And when did Madonna release Vogue? 3 massive events.
When did Steve Irwin die?
I don't know.
How can you...
People are still wrestling with the death of Steve Irwin.
I should know that.
Yeah, you should.
Steve Irwin trivia. His son just recreated his famous crocodile pose thing at the park. That happened this week. So, coincidence? I don't know.
Question 3, and you've barely paid attention to question 2, but I assume you clocked it. Question 3, when did Fleetwood Mac release the album Rumours? When did Red Rum win the Grand National for the 3rd time? When did Queen Elizabeth II celebrate her Silver Jubilee?
Oh, that's made it easier.
Ooh. It has made it easier if you know when she was coronated and you know what a Silver Jubilee is. I wouldn't say I'm bang on for either.
And therein lies the problem for both.
Question 4 is, by the standard of the round so far, relatively recent. When did Rage Against the Machine take Christmas #1 from X Factor winner Joe McElderry? When did US Airways Flight 1549 ditch in the Hudson River in an accident that became known as the Miracle on the Hudson, as all 155 people on board were rescued? And when did US President Barack Obama receive the Nobel Peace Prize?
Is it when Obama was nominated for the prize or when he picked it up?
When he was awarded the Peace Prize. Question 5, and finally in this round, in what year did Michael Jordan lead the Chicago Bulls to his 6th and final NBA championship win? Who's been watching The Last Dance? In what year was the film Armageddon released? Who's been watching Armageddon? And in what year were Opal fruits rebranded as Starburst?
But that is...
I'm embarrassed by that.
Watch The Last Dance.
What are you embarrassed by, Reese?
I've watched it. I've watched it too recently. I should know what's going on here.
I'd say the most damning part of the whole sort of quiz nature of this pandemic is how quickly information that you take on in quizzes will often leave your mind before the next quiz where the same questions come up.
What's question 1 again? Steve Irwin.
Question 1, Steve Irwin, Lordi winning Eurovision and The Departed coming out. And I'm going to tell you what year that was in 3, 2, bit of drama, 1, 2006.
Oh, you bastard. Look at that.
Bad news for Ilias.
2006, baby.
Oh.
Tez, I can't quite see whether you wrote 2006 or 2008.
No, I wrote 2005.
Astonishingly bad eyesight from me there. A real increasing worry in my day-to-day life. Number 2, no, Tez. No. Okay. Number 2, when was Mandela released from prison? When did England crash out of the World Cup to Germany? And when did Madonna release Vogue? The year of my birth, 1990. Question 3. Rumours by Fleetwood Mac was released in 1977. Also the year that the Queen Elizabeth celebrated the Silver Jubilee.
Way
and
off.
Red Rum won the Grand National for the 3rd time.
I thought she was crowned in 53.
Crowned in 52.
Fuck that.
Astonishing to curse at the coronation. Really, really, I'm going to say pathetic stuff from there, from Max Rushton. I'm sorry, they're not all about England's World Cup exits. Question 4.
Just before you move on, I just want to say, if I was quiz host at this stage, I would be making Max sing the national anthem as a recompense for saying that.
That's very
just what I would be doing in your shoes, but it's up to you. Completely up to you. But
I'll be honest, if I'd thought of it, I would have done it. But I don't think I can really take that on now as a suggestion from you, because it'll look weak. Question 4, and this is the one where Tez was creating a little bit of Nobel Prize-based kerfuffle. Barack Obama was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009.
Yes.
It was also when Rage Against the Machine with Christmas #1 and The Miracle on the Hudson occurred. Tez, are you happy?
I wrote 2008 because I feel like he was awarded the prize just after the election at the end of 2008. I feel like he was told he was getting it in December 2008. That's what. But
Do you feel that, or you know that?
I feel like I know that.
You feel it.
And to be fair, Tez, that would really fit with my definition of what being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize means. But I suppose you should have just had a bit more of a think about Rage Against the Machine and The Miracle on the Hudson. On we go. God save our gracious queen and all that. What year did Michael Jordan win his final NBA championship? What year was Armageddon released? And what year did Starburst become... No! What year did Opal Fruits become Starburst? The answer was 1998. Who got that right? It was 1998. A fact, I think, that I will never forget. What have you all got out of 10 so far? Tez?
6.
Reese?
8.
Fuck off.
And Jamie, and there's no need for that, Jamie and Max Rushton.
7.
7.
7. Not on your hands, Max. I can't see the whole picture. So it's closely fought stuff with just 2 points separating first and last. Round number 3 is the spot the ball round. We're going to show you some pictures, and you just need to identify where the ball is from 4 options, A to D. It is untried, it is untested, it is thrilling stuff. Let's have a look at the first picture.
Oh, wow.
So, my thoughts exactly, Jamie, actually. It's sports questions for people who don't like sport. So this is...
Jamie, red. Jay, who do you think? Have a guess.
Mourinho.
Good one. Okay.
Right. And more of that on Max Rushton's Twitter feed. It really is the gift that gives and gives and gives. But which one of those 4 is the ball that presumably Virgil van Dijk, if I may, was either heading or trying to head? Question 2. Where's the ball in this one? Jadon Sancho there of Borussia Dortmund in England, playing a match from the past. And I won't rephrase the question. Where's the ball in this one? Tez, are you enjoying the spot the ball round?
I am. Yeah, I'm just slightly distracted by my sister's texts, but I am fully engaged as well, which is a contradiction.
That's all right. As long as your sister isn't texting you photographs of Jadon Sancho. And even if she is, it would be a hell of a thing for it to be the exact photo at the exact moment in time. Question 3. It's Anthony Martial doing battle with a Bournemouth defender. Who's the Bournemouth defender? Anyone?
Steve Cook.
Thank
you very much, Rushton. Reese, you were too slow.
Steve Cook.
Well, let me just tell you, I was exactly on time on my end.
Yeah, it's really a delay.
Connection issues all over the place.
Can we get that picture? Can we get that picture full screen again, please? Someone was trying to do a quiz. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, Tez. Sister paused on the old correspondence for a second, has she, Tez?
She has, thankfully.
What did she write?
She wants to know where the popcorn. She wants to know where the popcorn machine is because my other sisters, my half sisters, that live with my dad, want to pick it up. So,
okay, where is it?
It's literally behind me. So, okay. But it might be in the kitchen actually. I don't know. but that's what's happening.
Oh no! If we had a bit more time on our hands, we're not playing Spot the Popcorn. We're playing Spot the Ball, Reese. Question 4. Diving header from Gabriel Jesus. So where's that gone?
Is that De Bruyne or Zinchenko in the background? There's a good question.
That's De Bruyne. Good spot.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, and too small, I'm afraid.
Luke
Shaw. We are having fun. Question 5. The final Spot the Ball.
Jamie Vardy.
Vardy, yes. And his Crystal Palace foe?
James Tompkins.
Tompkins. There, we said it at the same time.
James Tompkins. Jamie Vardy.
Jedinak. Vardy up against Jedinak there. Good to see.
Jedinak. Exact same time we said that.
Vardy is taking a kick to the Jaffers while wearing an absolutely enormous poppy, but where's the ball? It can't surely be right under Tompkins' bottom, can it?
I felt like that was more of a sensorial box for our benefit.
Oh, interesting. They found the time to include a sensorial box. They're good people at the Lock-In Pub Quiz. That was the end of the Spot the Ball round. We've all had a lovely time, and actually it's turned into a bit more of a Name the Footballer round than a Spot the Ball round, but get your fun while you can in this short life. Let's have those answers. Question 1. The answer was Jamie Rushton. Do you want to have a go?
B.
Oh yeah, I got that.
Hey,
Got it. B.
Yes.
B is correct. We all got B. It was an easy Spot the Ball. Question 2, maybe a little bit harder. Let's have a look. Where's the ball? It looks like it's travelled miles, but it's actually right by Jaden's thigh.
you've got to look at where their
question-
eyes are. That's the trick.
You've got to look at it, although you'd have to say it's a red herring in this one. Question 3 anyway. Let's see where the eyes are going with this one.
Yeah.
So you'd
question,
rule out
surely.
You'd rule out D based on the eyes, but is it D? Let's find out. I don't know.
Yes.
No, it's bang in the middle. It's C. Question 4.
That's Steve Cook, FYI, if you're interested.
Thank you very much, Reese. The debate rolls on, and here we have Gabriel Jesus, of course. But where's he headed that ball? Let's find out.
B.
Oh, it looks like he headed it exactly where he wanted to. Finally, where's the ball? It's surely not the funny one of D.
Yes.
It is.
A sensorial ball.
It remains a sensorial ball, but it also is a real ball. I say that sentence
so
once
much
every week on
to the
Lock-In.
imagination.
Vardy's eyes.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
eyes.
But he's a big boozer, so you can't trust them.
Oh, what a thing to say at this juncture. We're not even going to dwell on that. We've slagged off the Queen, and now we've slagged off the King. Reese, how many did you get in the Spot the Ball round out of 5?
3.
Tez, same question.
3.
Same answer. Rushton's.
2.
2.
We got
In both your faces.
Shut up, Tez.
Tez is showing his true colours, and to be fair, the Russians are giving as good as they get. Reese, ever the diplomat. So what's that done to the totals? I can tell you that Reese is sitting pretty on 11 and marginally less attractive, but as attractive as each other are Max, Jay, and Tez on 9. Everything to play for as we approach round 4. Round 4 is a 10-point, 1-question big beast, which carries us over the mid-quiz break. And that question is, what are the top 10 most populated countries in the world? It's the sort of bread and butter quizzing that I think is missing from a lot of these increasingly creative Zoom quizzes we've seen in the lockdown. No, my grandma's singing these pop songs out of tune, or, I put this speech through Google Translate. What are the 10 most populated countries in the world? Bang.
You don't have to get them in order, yeah?
You don't have to get them in order. There'll obviously be pride at stake, but no. I'll tell you what, and this is a big clue, really. one of them has already played quite an ongoing role already.
Okay.
I shouldn't have said that. That's just an absolute first-class post clue. Well, listen, we will give you contestants here, and indeed those at home, a little bit of time to think about that while we go to a short and slightly more serious than usual break in the quiz. See you shortly. And welcome back to the Lock-In Pub quiz. Now, the contestants were all, before the break, sweating over the top 10 most populous countries in the world. There was some unhappiness about the fact that the Rushtons have got a map in the room, but as we stressed, it's not mapping them by population. Here are the 10 countries. You don't have to have them in order. A point for each. Number 1, you'd be mad not to have written China for this round.
Yes.
You'd have been a fool not to write India for this round.
Yes.
You'd have been close-minded not to have written the United States of America for this round. You'd have been human not to have written Indonesia for this round. It sneaks in there at 4, but you'd probably still be kicking yourself. You would have been quite foolish not to have written Pakistan. You'd be a blind man not to have written Brazil. Again, you'd be completely within your rights not to have written Nigeria. But there it is.
I was going to write Nigeria.
Tez living with his mistakes as ever. We come now to the one that I trailed because it played a big part in our HSBC banter earlier on, where B does not stand for banter and it does not stand for Bangladesh, the 8th most populous country in the world. Then we move to a country which I think you can see on the Rushtons wall map. It's Russia. Massive by size, quite massive by population, and we finish on Mexico. Let's hear some answers that you hoped would be in but weren't. Tez.
Germany.
Germany. Come on.
Germany's got a population of like 90 million. It's a massive country.
Okay, still a few mil short of Mexico. How many did you get in the round?
8.
That's not too bad. Rushtons with your map?
We got 9, but we hoped Turkey would be on.
Turkey instead of which? Nigeria?
Pakistan.
No, we didn't.
Pakistan. And Reese?
Yeah, where I've gone wrong is I couldn't decide whether or not the Isle of Man was officially a country. I went for Chile and Egypt instead of Nigeria and something else. I can't remember, but I got 8.
An insight into people's minds. So that's 8 for Reese, 8 for Tez, 9 for the Rushtons. It remains close for, I imagine. There are those running scores. Ooh.
Oof.
It's 19 for Reese, it's 18 for the Rushtons, it's 17 for Tez. We move on now to, again, it's unknown territory for the quiz. Usually at this point, friend of the quiz, Michael, would be banging out some tunes on the stylophone, but instead, we've got an observation round. We will be showing you a clip of the music video Subway System by Jimothy Lacoste. You don't have to know the video, you just have to watch the clip, because afterwards you will be asked 5 questions about what you saw in it. I don't know the music. I'm looking forward to every element of this, actually. Let's watch the video. You'll only get it once. Keep your eyes peeled.
London Underground as falls like it's just sniffed cocaine. Tickets are expensive, shit ain't cheap. God, the train's about to close, mind the doors be If you know, you know, okay, but keep it on the down low. Finna do my things, don't get gassed, only show bros. Colours, lines, electricity, that's my rhythms. Trains are hella fun, constant shows like The Simpsons. If you see them colours, please don't hate. Have an open mind, think a bit and try and relate. That's enough about that, ain't trying to be bait. Hold up, hang on, wait a second, that's my train, now I'm late. Now I'm late, but it's calm, man's just chilling and I'm calm. But everyone is stressed like some pigs in some farm. Man, them can't fit in these little mad trains. Can't hack this bloody mess, this system is insane. Shit, whoa, whoa, this train has mad flow. Quick, fast, up and down like a bloody yo-yo. Damn yes, my northern line is running. Bang little line goes far to more than man, that's something. Getting on the train, getting on the train. London Underground is fast like it's just sniffed cocaine. Tickets are expensive, shit ain't cheap. Girl, the train's about to close, mind the doors, beep beep. Businessman, you're standing too close to the yellow line, to the yellow line. Come on bro, you're making me not feel fine. Plus your bag's in front of your legs, you're out of your mind. And when I'm in the train, people are...
So that was quite a long clip, if I'm honest, not making a sort of judgment call on the music, but it was a long clip of Subway System by Jimothy Lacoste. Here are 5 quick-fire questions about what you might have seen. Question 1, what colour trousers was Jimothy wearing for the entirety of the video? Question 2, according to Jimothy, trains are hella fun. What popular TV show are they like?
I wasn't listening.
Oh, I wrote that down.
Question 3, how did Jimothy pay for the tube?
Quite a complicated answer.
It is actually. Don't like the question. Question 4, what station was the businessman at? That is not a complicated answer. And question 5, how much is a penalty fare?
In my notes, I wrote, shit ain't cheap.
Shit ain't cheap. That's a saying in our house, shit ain't cheap. I say it all the time. Shit ain't cheap.
Shit ain't...
I wrote Mary Magdalene for nothing. Okay, cool.
Yeah, same. Likewise.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I can't believe Piccadilly line hasn't come up, given the amount we see Piccadilly line Saturday. Embankment via Charing Cross for a start.
Yeah, doesn't come up.
Yeah.
The yellow bicycle, that didn't
Yellow
come up.
bike, got her in there.
Yeah, we've established that there's a lot of stuff in the music video Subway System by Jimothy Lacoste, and it was a long clip, and you just can't get it all in. But well done for being so observant. Let's mark it.
He was turning counterclockwise.
Shit ain't cheap.
Question 1, his trousers were red.
Yeah.
Question 2, trains are hella fun.
Like The Simpsons.
Simpsons. Question 3, how did he pay for the tube? Cash.
On an
Not
oyster.
possible.
I wrote paper notes. That's all right, innit?
Yes, I'm going to say that's all right to say paper notes. He threw them up in the air like he just didn't care.
I also wrote that.
Question
And what
4, the
turning-
businessman.
Kentish Town.
Kentish Town is correct. That's where the businessman was at. The part that I suspect
they so
I would have
often
played in
are.
the video. And question 5, the penalty fare is £80.
Ooh. Put up to 100.
That's more a question of how well do you know the London Underground than how well
Yeah,
you
I was just going
Yeah.
for up to 100.
Yeah,
but
not
you've all
really.
got it wrong, so it doesn't really matter. Rushtons, how many did you get in that round?
Got 4.
4. Shit ain't cheap. Reese
4 as well.
and Tez 3. He slipped into the abyss.
Didn't hear Simpsons.
Didn't hear The Simpsons. Tez, what TV show did you guess at?
Blank.
Blank.
Blankety blank.
No, not even blankety blank. I just left it. I was going to write Grange Hill, but it wasn't going to be that, so I left it.
Come on, Tez. If you don't buy a ticket, you'll never win the lottery. You're coming last. Let's see
And
the
if
scores
you
as
don't
they
buy a
stand.
ticket, Ivo, just to clarify, if you don't buy a ticket, you will be fined up to £80.
And it means that the lead of Reece James is protected, but only just, Tez could still win it with the final general knowledge round, but he's going to have to start at least trying to answer questions correctly rather than just staring into his infinite white space of paper. Our final section, and we've had a few curveballs tonight, but this was never going to be a curveball. It's just 5 more questions of Sweet GK. Tez, you need to correct a 3-point swing over Reese to win this. And of course, you'll also have the bloody Rushtons to deal with. Question 1. Which television show, so I'm afraid, Tez, it's bad news, you've got to name another television show, was described by its creator as the story of Mr. Chips becoming Scarface?
Who's Mr. Chips?
Which television show?
Is it Mr. Chips the guy from the game show?
Yeah, not blankety blank. What is it? Catchphrase.
Okay, cool. So he becomes Scarface. Fucking hell.
Is that who it is?
No, but there's another. Mr. Chips is also the, as Stephen Mulhern will attest, he is the character in all of the catchphrases.
I see.
I don't think this show, which I do know the answer, is based on that.
It's from Goodbye Mr. Chips. I'll tell you, Tez, that Mr. Chips, as you might guess from his sweet, sweet name, is a gentle soul. Scarface, I don't need to tell you, is not. So what are we looking for there, then? Yeah, some sort of character development, I'd imagine. Question 2.
Oh, yeah, I've got it now.
Oh, baby, I've walked him into the answer because, to be fair, he is coming last. Question 2. If a Cockney is having Army and Navy, what would they be eating?
Not sure about the wording.
Not sure about. He's talking about the final word, Reese. He's not saying that you might be eating it, but it's very much in the food world. Question 3, and it's a multiple choicer. What was the highest selling video game of the noughties, of the 2000s? I won't leave you swinging without the multiple choice. I can tell you it is one of The Sims, Mario Kart on the Wii, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, or Wii Sports. Max Rushton has again voted with his feet. I'm enjoying the thought that he's got over to a simply enormous video game collection.
We have a map.
We've got a laptop running out of power. That's right. Sorry, love. It's about to blow. Here we are. It's totally
really great domestic scenes. Question 4. This is a tap-in. What part of the human body is the patella?
Patella used to be, as niche as it gets, used to be in Eric Lampere's stand-up. And that's how I know the answer.
Really? What's No, I think if you told us the bit, you'd probably have to give us the answer, wouldn't you?
It's not really a bit. To be honest, it was in the heady improv days. It was one show I saw. He screamed it. He screamed the answer to this question.
Is he still alive?
Eric Lampere.
Well, sadly, he lost his patella, and the rest is history.
Well, if I've got the right answer, that shouldn't be life-threatening.
Yes,
no, the way he did it. He is French, remember?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't take that into account.
God, guys, it feels like we're in the murky world of improv at the moment, and I'm going to stop that and ask you who the 5 members of the Jackson 5 were. Thrillingly, for 5 points, music to the ears of Tez Ilyas, from the ones you can't forget to the ones you can't forgive. That's the Jackson 5. And, so we're going to mark that round now. Because of the skewed final question, it is out of 9. Question 1, Mr. Chips becoming Scarface was a description of Breaking Bad.
Thank you for the clue.
It was a good clue to help out with a slightly murky question. Question 2, if a Cockney is having Army and Navy, what would they be eating? Or, as I think Reese was very keen to clarify, possibly drinking. It's gravy.
Thank you.
Yes.
But it's very much on the cusp, isn't it? Question 3, the highest selling video game of the noughties. Reese, what did you put?
Wii Sports.
I put Wii Sports
and
as well.
Wii Sports is correct. What did the Rushtons put?
Yes.
Oh, that's a hammer blow.
What did you put,
We put
Jamie?
The Sims.
Yeah.
You may as well have run out of battery. What
Because-
time wasted?
Wii Sports came with the Wii, and so it's how many units of Wii were sold, and therefore common
I
sense.
stopped
dictates-
thinking
It's around 83 million units as well.
Yeah.
Top of the head, that.
the Amiga 12.
It
I just remember there was a time in my life where I felt like everyone was playing Sims. That's what I was basing it on.
Oh no, Jamie, you can't be going off personal recollections of people playing The Sims. You've got to really zoom out and start looking at the bigger picture. I hope that for question 4, you were remembering a point in your life where everyone was banging on about their knees, because that's what a patella is. It's a knee. It's a kneecap. It's a kneecap.
And Eric Lampere said on the evening I saw him that he saw on the news that a gang had cornered a man and sliced open his kneecap with a can opener, his knee with a can opener, and took his patella out. And I'll never forget that.
Oh.
And in many ways, this is my Slumdog moment, I think. It's watching an Eric Lampere gig where he improvised a patella-based bit of comedy to win me the quiz.
Nice.
Question 5. Name all 5 members of the Jackson 5.
Michael
The
Jackson.
answer- Michael Jackson was famously, I think, in the Jackson 5.
That's
He did
one.
have a solo
Tito.
career after, of course. Tito was also in the Jackson 5. Jermaine was in the Jackson
Jermaine.
5.
Yes, he was.
Never mind the bus stop. Marlon was in the Jackson 5.
No
And
one,
I
no
think-
one got that. No one got
Jackie?
that.
Did
What
anyone
about
get
Randy?
Jackie?
Yeah, what about Randy Jackson?
In 1976, Jermaine was replaced by Randy, and the band became known as the Jacksons.
Yes,
That is hard.
and that's what we're saying.
No, but that's the Jackson 5, you see, fellas. What did you get in the round overall out of 9?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Also
7 ain't too bad. Oh, Reese got 7, so there's a dignity in drawing with Reese, but you won't have caught him up like that. What did the Rushtons get?
We got 7.
We got 7.
I don't believe them.
Everybody got 7 in the round, so we may as well have not done it. It would have been awful if the Rushtons had won it as a pair. It would have been a shame if Tez had won it after slagging off the quiz so rudely at the start. And so, in a sort of lesser of 4 evils kind of a way, Reese James is the likeable enough winner of today's
Is the first time Reese has been described as likable during.
Likeable. Genuinely, I don't think I've earned that title. I've earned likeable by default, thanks to the rest of you.
I think it was likeable enough, but it doesn't matter. A bit of tension goes a long way in this sort of thing. And my God, there's been a hell of a lot of it today. Cutting it with knives.
Lovely. I had a really nice time, and I think I enjoyed all the bits that probably won't be on the YouTube show, but I really enjoyed all of it.
Tease the viewers with the sense of what they've missed out on. It's been a carnival. Thank you very much to Max and Jamie Rushton. Thank you very much to Reese. Thank you very much to Ted. Please do watch again next week, and of course follow at MyTicket UK and at the Lock-In Pub Quiz on Twitter and Instagram for more news. I've been Ivo Graham. It's been a shambles, but that increasingly is how it is every week, and I wouldn't change it for the world, apart from a little bit. See you next time. Goodbye.